Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I am out in the backyard and I am going to be creating some things for my little feathered friends for the backyard. I'm going to be creating two little nesting hangers made like filled with a bunch of natural fibers and things that will help make it easier for them to forage when they're starting to build their nests. And then I'm just going to take you along while I fill my feeders, and we're just going to spend a little bit of time here out in the yard today. And I like to do this especially in the winter months because birds need all the help that we can give them, and I like to take care of them. I also plan later this month and next month putting out a few more bird houses so that I can encourage more wildlife. That's going to be a theme this year, encourage more wildlife into the yard. And so today I am going to go around the yard, and I'm going to take you along, and we're going to pick out some stuff to put into our nesting hangers. And I have a clip that I'm going to insert here first of a natural fiber that you might not think about but may gross you out a little bit. So I'm going to insert that here, and then I'm going to take you around different parts of the yard as I collect some other natural occurring fibers. And so I've got my scissors, and I have my big orange Home Depot bucket. So let's get started. All right. So we talked about natural materials for the thing, and this is going to sound a little gross, but a great natural material for a nesting box is hair. So I'm in my bathroom. I'm going to get the hair off of my hairbrush, and also I think I might comb my cats a little bit to get a little bit of their hair, because that also works really well. So, and then we're going to go outside and collect some more natural materials for it. I actually kind of just saved this up for a few days, so I know it's kind of gross, but it's for the birds, so I don't really care that I'm sharing this on the internet. Alright, here's the first natural fiber that we're collecting for our nesting hanger. So to start, I've got this big patch of pampas grass. We have another one over on the other side of the front yard. And dried grass is a great material to put in these nesting boxes, and there's a ton around here. So I'm just going to cut some of this off and put it in my bucket, and then we'll move along. I saw something else over there that I want to grab for it. And then back over here, there's this tree has seen better days. It's been leaning like this for the whole time that we've lived here, because Someone ran it over and we just didn't have the heart to rip it out. But there's a bunch of little twigs around here, and twigs are another great find for the nesting baskets. Now, you don't want anything too big. Smaller pieces will be great, and you do want them to have a little bit of flex, but not a ton. Well, no, I think flex is good. You don't want them to be too rigid, because then they'll break. But also, if they're small pieces, it's easier for the birds to carry them. So let me see if I can find a stick, and I'll show you what you want. So these smaller pieces of the branch, they break easily, but that'll be great for the birds to build into their nest. So I'm just going to grab a few handfuls of these small pieces and I'll put them in my bucket. And I also saw something over there that I want to grab for these baskets. Pine needles, perfect for adding to the nesting baskets. They're little and fibrous. I'll probably just leave them on, like cut off the little twigs. But maybe I'll try and mix them up too. But these are great, and I just found them out here. They've blown off some tree from a windstorm. So moss is also a really great material, and we have a lot of it around here. And this stuff looks pretty dead on this tree, but at the top there's a bunch of fluffy green, and so I'm going to grab some of that to add to our baskets. This looks like it'll be perfect. Well, as you can see, we have plenty of materials to work with for our nesting boxes. Free materials. So if you wanted to do this at home, you could go, if you don't have any access to any of this stuff, there's so many other things that you can substitute, and I will put a link down to the blog post that I've written on how to create these bird nesting feeders down below for more information. But it doesn't have to cost a lot. I bought 2 of these suet cages. They're normally used for this blocks of suet, and you hang it in the tree, but they're perfect little cages for adding the nesting material too. They're just these little blocks, and they come with a hanger, which is perfect. And so what we're going to do is we're going to fill these baskets. Now, all of this material is from my head, but also my yard. But I did buy on Amazon some coconut fiber that is great for bird nesting, and this is one of the alternative things. So you can buy this on Amazon, but for the most part this can be done for super cheap. These suet cages, I think they were less than $5 each, so it was perfect. But yeah, so what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to start with some of this coconut fiber and then kind of start shoving things in and see where that takes me. But yeah, let's get started and then we'll get these hung up for our feathered friends. Alright, so it looks like this one, I've seen a lot of suet cages that open, like the whole side opens. These will work fine. So I'm just going to start by shoving some of this coconut fiber in the bottom. Actually, I have a lot of it, so I'm just gonna kind of break it apart a little and put that in. And then I'm gonna take a little bit of my hair. Just gonna shove it down. I'll leave the rest for my other cage. And then some of this grass. And I think with the grass I'm going to cut it into smaller pieces because these are pretty long. And I think it's okay if it kind of pokes out. That might be kind of good. And then just cut some of that. Shove it down here on the side. Grab some of these. Keeping them on their little branches, and I guess the birds can take them off. They'll dry out as well. I kind of want to like fluff the needles out so they're not. There we go. Stick some here. There, I want some grass, more grass on this side. Shove some moss up here. I'm just kind of weaving some grass in and out too. Some moss down here. And we don't want to forget our twigs. I'm going to break these into smaller pieces as well. I think I'm going to add a little bit more of this coconut fiber. Alright, so this looks pretty full, so I'm just going to shut the cage. So this is looking pretty full, and I love the way it looks. So I'm just going to close the top. And there we have it. A little nesting cage. And I'm going to hang this in a tree. And hopefully the birds will use it and love it. And we can do this again every year. Here's a little bit of a close-up. It looks very wild. There's a bunch of the fiber. There's my hair. Yeah, perfect. Looks great. Alright, so now it's time to feed the birds, and I've got two types of feeders. I've got this long one that's looking pretty dirty, so I'm gonna hose it out. And then I've got two of these suet cages that are also dirty, so I'm gonna hose these off too before I put the food in them. And then the food that I'm using today, I just got some suet from one of our local hardware stores, Ace. There's like a berry blast and an orange burst. Both of these say they attract a wide variety of birds, so that's good. And then for the tall one, I had another seed mix, but it's got peanuts in it, which actually they did pretty well getting the peanuts out of there the last time, but I didn't want to chance it again. So I just got this mix, and I always like to use a no waste mix, or a mix that won't sprout when it falls on the ground, because birds are messy when they eat. So this and this attracts all. I looked to find a mix that attracted the types of birds that I always see in my yard, and so I got this on Amazon. I'll link it below, and I'll link some options for different types of suet and where I got the cages for the nesting boxes, or the nesting hangers, which would work just fine if you wanted to just put suet in them too. So let's get these birds fed. Alright, that's going to be it from me today. Thank you so much for coming along while we built the nesting hangers and fed the birds. go over to www.learningtobloom.com for more information about the nesting hangers and how you can build your own. And I will link that post down below, and also link the suet cages that I used and the bird seed that I got, and I will give you some options for suet that you can put in the cages if that's what you want to do. But you can also get it at any local hardware store, which is where we got ours, and usually they're pretty good deals, so you can buy several at a time so you don't have to keep constantly going back. But I highly encourage feeding the birds in your backyard or wherever it is you are. Not just, feeding them, I encourage you to feed them all year round, but especially this time of year when their resources are very depleted. And then the nesting hangers are going to encourage them to nest in the yard, and I plan on putting up some more birdhouses around the yard. Project may be coming soon. I'm gonna try and make my own, but I do have like the Taj Mahal of bird houses upstairs that I'm gonna bring out, that I picked up at HomeGoods a really long time ago. Should look okay. But yeah, thanks again for coming along. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, as it really supports my channel. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe for more gardening adventures as the year progresses. And I hope that you're having a great day wherever you are, and I will see you super soon. Bye.